Recently we created a sourdough starter out of lion's mane, and today we baked a lion's mane focaccia. I'll leave a link in the description on how to create the starter, but that's pretty much where we're starting. As long as you created the starter within the last 2 weeks, it should still be good because the bubbles get trapped and the yeast are still producing off of not only the starchiness of the flour, but also I added some sugar in there. The sugar will be broken down by the yeast and turned into alcohol, and the alcohol will help break down the particles even smaller. To get to the dough that I wanted, I knew I would need to keep it really hydrated, so any water that I added, I made sure it was from the ginger bug to really promote those bubbles, because we're going to need those bubbles to help the bread rise since we don't have a ton of gluten. The purpose of the starter is to give some elasticity to the bread so that it can trap those bubbles instead of just letting them leave. And of course the starter has the lion's mane in it, so you're going to get the benefits from the lion's mane. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with making bread, so I am learning as I go. So I made sure to put all the base ingredients in, and this is pretty much what I came up with. I knew I was going to need oil at a certain point, so I added some, and I think I added it a little too early, and I ended up adding too much oil total, but I'm going to make an adjustment for that later. But what I wanted to do is add all the base ingredients, see what it looks like, and then wet it up from there to get it more into like a batter, and then shape it up into a dough. In our previous bread adventures, we pretty much put not enough water, so I was trying to have the opposite problem at this point. So this was the point where I put too much oil, and it didn't really like affect the bread too much, but it did seep all of the oil to the bottom, and it didn't create the best bread that I could have made, but you know, we're learning. So this is exactly what I was talking about. You see the bread is like one form. This is after a 2-hour wait. I mixed it up and then let it rest, and now I'm just going to put the bread into the pan. Boom, just like that. And so 2 hours have passed since I mixed it and got it really wet. It's really goopy, and that's what we want. And I had so much that I had some extras, so I just put those in a separate pan and I threw those in the fridge for tomorrow. So definitely when you're baking this, you want to put a pan of water into the oven to make sure that your bread doesn't dry out. You want it to be really humid in there. And while that was getting more humid and while the bread was resting in the pan, I grabbed some lion's mane out of the tent, had some extras growing, and I'm gonna chop this up and use it as a topping for the bread. So I got to work on that, chopped it really nice, showing off the texture there. Awesome. So we've got like an infinite supply of lion's mane, so that's why we're using it for everything. We've got lion's mane in the bread, on top of the bread. You know, the flour is lion's mane, the toppings are lion's mane. Threw some garlic in there, really just making my own spin on what a focaccia is. When it comes to cooking most fungi, I like to dry saute it first to cook the water off the surface, and then I'll hit it with a little bit of oil later. But we didn't need really any oil. I didn't want to add any more oil to this, so I just dry sauteed it, added a little bit of Italian seasoning, and then I deglazed the pan with some vegetable stock. Then I pulled all the garlic out, smashed it up, and got it ready to go on the bread, since it had been sitting for around like an hour and a half at that point, and it was looking pretty good. It had rose up a little bit, so I went and dropped all the ingredients on. So that's lion's mane, garlic, a little bit of salt, just to taste. And then we pushed the classic press for the focaccia to try to make those like pockets, but it was pretty dense, so my fingers kind of pushed through it, and it pushed some of the stuff through into the actual bread. So I pulled it out for a second, and I was like shocked at how well this looked. It looked really good, but it wasn't quite done yet. I stuck a fork through the middle, and you could see it came out a little doughy. So I put it back in the oven for like 15 minutes, and boom. This is one of the most delicious looking breads I've ever seen, and I made it. Guys, I've never baked this before, and it came out like this the first time. Absolutely, I was stunned. So Yeah, I made this like a few days ago and it's already gone. Like, I killed it in like a day and a half. I used it for sandwiches, like all types of stuff. And you can see towards the bottom where there's a little bit of oil that like settled at the bottom, but you know, that's a solvable problem. I'll just put less oil. I gave it a little taste test here and it was phenomenal. I saw a lot of people online saying focaccia is like a really hard bread to make, and while it doesn't have the bubbles that I wanted, it definitely has the taste and it's functional, so hey. Now, I was in the middle of editing this video and I realized that I had left the other two in the fridge, so I made a curry sauce, rubbed it on top of this one, and pressed it just like I did with the focaccia, and then I grabbed some hazelnut spread and I put it on the tiny bread and pressed it with the spoon, threw that in the oven, and this was so out of pocket, but oh my god, this worked too. So I guess I'm a baker now, so look forward to more baking projects because this was crazy. I'm gonna make more fungi breads. If you guys enjoyed this, definitely hit that like button. This is all new to me and I really enjoy sharing these things with you guys. Stay tuned, we've got a lot more cultivation videos, cooking videos, and a lot of other stuff. So thank you guys for watching and I will see you soon.